You're welcome back. Now on Health Today, we are joined by our very own Dr. Diran Onifade, the CMO for Dr. Connect. Now, it's a health tech company on a mission to making quality healthcare delivery possible through mobile phones, and he will be talking to us today about treatment for diabetes-related complications. Dr. Diran is interested in developing the state of health in Lagos using the adoption of health technology and also machine learning. You're welcome once again, Dr. Diran.
Thank you very much.
This is your Afro. We need to start a competition between you and I. It's all good. So we've been talking about diabetes for a couple of weeks now, and it's very, very important because there's a lot of people, Lagos, Nigeria, Africa, that actually are living with the condition. And there are many things to it. Not only might you be suffering from the ailments, then you have to worry about management.
Yes.
Now, to today's topic, why is it a significant one?
Yeah, it's so significant because most people don't tend to know they have diabetes until it gets to the complicated stage. And that's when you get to see most of them. The popular one we see around is ulcer that is not healing, the leg ulcer that is not healing. So we need to create awareness on that because most of them say it's something from the village. And they tend to have put so much and all that before they present, leading to amputation and all that. But if you're able to catch this thing at the beginning, it won't get to people having to lose their leg, you have to amputate it and all. So the awareness is really, really needed at this point in time. Yesterday being the World Diabetic Day. Exactly. So it's a very good time to put the word out there for people to know what to do when they start seeing all this, so they won't end in complication. You know, we've been talking about the 3 Shons one time, that there are 3 Shons in everything you want to do. The first one is you have nutrition. From nutrition, from nutrition, if you take your diet very, very rightly, you might prevent quite a lot of things that don't happen to you. Then if you are able to control it at the diet level, you won't get to the last stage, which is the intervention stage.
Okay, so when nutrition, the first stage, yes, the very last one, intervention.
Is intervention. So intervention is where you don't want you to go. But the most important is prevention, and that's where awareness comes in. Okay. So when we talk about prevention, we will not get to the stage of intervention.
Okay. So the prevention, intervention in the middle, however.
Nutrition.
Nutrition.
Yes.
Okay. Now, getting to know about the fact that people or that one might be living with the disease, is it you wait for the symptoms to hit you, or you suggest that people already just go and do medical checkups to find out if they have or if they're at the verge of having diabetes? Okay.
I will quickly tell you about what we call concordance in medicine. And I will use the example of twins and why you should test this thing so often. I will let you know now. There's something we call concordance. If you have twins now that one has diabetes, there's 70 to 90% that the other twin is going to have it in twins. If you have a father and mother that are diabetic, there is between 40 to 50% probability that you are going to have it.
Wow.
So depending on the risk factors, you need to examine yourself that, okay, what family history do I have that make me prone to come down with this thing? So if you need to be doing it maybe once a year, depending on the risk factor you have. If you don't have any, probably when you just want to do your annual checkup, then just check your sugar level.
Annual checkup, very, very important. Not every Nigerian does that. In fact, I dare say that people don't do checkups. They just wait until they're ill before they go to the hospital. And then the doctor goes through a gauntlet of checks and is like, oh God, this is what's
this thing is there. And that is what we see most of the time with diabetics. Most times it might not give you any symptoms. You might not even feel anything. And you might just detect it. And even if you feel probably you just drink so much water, you drink so much, then the complication now starts coming in. And like I said, the ulcer that will not heal, that is the most popular we see here.
Yeah. And it's always most often the foot.
The foot, yes.
The foot?
Okay, yes. Part of the complication that we're talking about is what we call a neuropathy. In neuropathy, what happens is that there are microvascular complications because there are 2. One is micro, one is macro, small and big. The micro is the one that affects the small parts. So your nerves that supply, the blood that supply your nerves, maybe the legs, the foot, and all that, yes, the extremities, yes. They are like the micro one, the small one. So you start losing sensation to all those places. And most of our people probably they will not wear shoes, especially when you go to the village. They don't wear shoes, they go to farm and all that. They have a small cut, a small wound. They will say, okay, it will heal. They will start putting on it, put this, put that. Before you know it, it gets big. Before you know, they will say, it's someone from your village. It's offer. That's what Yoruba people call it. It is offer. They will do all that prayers and all. Before you know it, by the time they come to the hospital, it has generated to the place where you have to amputate it.
Now, before he gets there, I am aware that there are little treatments that people could actually have. What are these treatments before we get to that stage, or even before we get to the stage of injecting insulin into the body? What other kinds of treatments are available in the early stage that could eliminate? Is it could you eliminate it? Do you...
Yeah, no, you know, once you have diabetes, most of the time, especially type 2, it's now a lifestyle thing that you have to be on it like hypertension. It doesn't go away. Okay. But it doesn't mean, I know people that have been diabetic for like 40 years.
What treatment do they?
Yes, they have drugs that they use. They have drugs there. We have different type of drugs, sulfonylureas and all that. There are new drugs now that they use. I really don't want to start mentioning names on TV, so people don't start buying.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have all those drugs that when you go to the hospital, the doctor will prescribe for you that you can go and buy. And these drugs are so effective. But before we get to the stage of drug, and it's so simple that things that we can do, we just ignore them. Your diet and exercise can actually prevent you from using drugs.
Tell me about diet, because now, while I'm not suffering from diabetes, I'm very concerned about diet now. In fact, I've changed to fruit-based foods, mostly fruits now. I've only just discovered fruits. Is that helpful in any way, eliminating all sorts of other sugars and most carbons?
You can't go wrong with fruits. That's the truth. You can never go wrong with fruits. You can never go wrong with vegetables. Unlike in hypertension, when we say we recommend what we call a DASH diet, I think we've talked about that before here. In diabetic, what we do is that you need to eat the right portion of food. It's the portion allotment that is important. Not that don't you eat starchy food, don't eat protein food, don't eat vitamins.
Because they are necessary as well.
Everything, you can eat anything. That's the truth. Like I said last week, you can eat anything, but the right portion is what is very important. And at times, this can be individualized to the degree of the sugar level and all. That's why we have all these dietitians. When you come to the hospital, they have a diabetic diet that is given to you. And trust me, you can eat anything you want to eat.
So the old vibe still is that you can't eat eba, you can't eat starch.
Not true.
So most people resort to eating wheat.
No, yeah, see, even all those wheats. Yes, wheat is good, but it doesn't mean that you have to be eating wheat all through your life. Wheat in the morning, wheat in the morning. No, it's not so. Even that alone is not going to help your body to function optimally. You need everything to survive.
In the right proportion.
Yes. It's just portion allotment that you need in diabetes management.
Oh, Dr. Nufeda, I hope, are we done with the diet, with the diabetes
No,
series?
next week is when we are now going to just summarize everything and the impact it's going to have on the economy of Nigeria because of the proportion of people that have diabetes. So we go into all these calculations thing.
We can't wait to have you next week then. So please, if you are interested in the topic, remember now that he's going to be back again next week and we're going to continue on this theme for next week. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you for coming
in. Always a pleasure to have you here, and always a pleasure to have you guys watching us from home. Do stay tuned. We have another hour of great entertainment coming your way here on Wake Up Nigeria.